Hey everybody, welcome to the channel. My name is Jason and the channel is The Everyday Card Collector. I am here with my friend Aaron. We are doing episode 15 of Mount Rushmore. How are you, my friend?
Doing well. How are you, sir?
Very good. And I should be remiss. I didn't mention your channel. Obviously, Value Vintage Cards. Shame on me. I assume that we've done enough stuff together where everybody knows that at this point.
Yeah. All good. We're just here for some fun.
There's gonna be an awesome one. We have an awesome guest. You could tell by the title of the video, we are kind of diving into pre-war sets, and maybe if you're not a pre-war collector, maybe if you're thinking about dabbling into pre-war, but you're kind of afraid, we want to sort that out a little bit. I wasn't a pre-war collector a year and a half ago, and meeting Aaron and my buddy Joe and watching my guests' videos have kind of swung me into that path, and I'm having a blast. So I don't know. Why don't you go over the rules and then we'll jump our guest on and we'll talk about the topic a little bit.
Yeah, and I will say with our guest, I think he's probably the guru, the influencer, or the inspirer of pre-war and finding unique, cool sets. So we thought this would be the perfect opportunity to bring him in and share some of his wisdom. So we're going to be looking at the best entry level / new to pre-war kind of sets to take a look at. So we're going to all go through and share our top 4. I think everyone's grabbed at least a couple of honorable mention sets. So we'll kind of give some argument too. This is probably going to be the most wide open topic because it's not just the Mount Rushmore of third baseman where we're going to have some overlap and some agreement. This could be 12 unique sets for all we know. So we'll see how this goes, but it should be fun. I think our guest of honor tonight is going to be definitely the perfect fit for this topic.
No doubt. So let's not keep him waiting. Otherwise he'll yell at us. Let's get him in here. And our guest is Mr. Mangini himself, the Prez. How are you, sir?
Oh, hey, I was just looking at some baseball cards. What's up?
Not too much. Thanks for jumping on with us. We've been racking our brain. How do we get you on? You have an amazing collection. How can we share your education? We switched topics and here we are. And I think this is a perfect way to go. So we're excited to have you on, my friend.
Well, I'm glad to be on. And I was toying around with a new opening. I wanted to run it by you guys first. What do you think of this? I was going to change my opening. I was going to say, now let's get into it.
No, you can't do that. If you do that, you have to pay me $1 every time you say it. So.
I was so excited to hear we were talking about pre-war cards. It's one of my favorite inexpensive under the radar sets is the 1981 Donruss.
Great looking set, actually.
Yeah, it's a nice pre-Iraqi war card.
Right, exactly
Yeah.
Right. It's funny you should say this. I asked my daughter, my oldest daughter, she's 22. I said, when I say pre-war, what does that mean to you? And she pegged it. She got it right. She's like, that's pre-World War II, Dad. I'm like, when did that start? And I said, that's debatable, but give me a time. I don't know, early 40s. I'm like, very good, honey. That'll work. That's good enough.
Yeah, so, when it comes to eras that we refer to, pre-war, that's just a term that's everybody knows is pre-World War II. It's not pre-Vietnam War or pre-Korean War or pre-Iraqi War. And when it comes to vintage, that's not to be taken literally. And it's never used to be a moving scale like it is with cars, where 10 years a classic and 20 years, when you hit 20 years, it's antique. That was always just a general term that was between 1978 and the pre-war era. A general term was vintage. Now everybody's expanding that term. They're making it more of a moving scale, I think.
Do you? Because in my head, I don't know. I don't either. So I go up to 80. 80 is vintage to me.
Yeah, it's like then we moved into the modern era. And that doesn't mean today modern. It means that's the era for cards, was the modern era where they really started to produce them in large quantities. And then you move in to the ultra modern era where you have all the fancy shiny stuff.
Yep.
And I don't know what will be next. The super mega douches ultra double ultra era. I don't know. But those were always referred to as eras.
Yep.
And like I said, they weren't to be taken literally.
I agree. 100%. And for Aaron, because Aaron's is a moving target, anything over 1945 is ultra modern for Aaron.
Yeah, that's right. That's where I cut it off at. Yeah, ultra modern, 50 tops. That's ultra modern.
Yeah.
Junk vintage. Yeah, I don't know.
Well, shoot, we know what the topic is. It's kind of
Yeah.
the best pre-war starter sets. Hopefully, we educate some people to actually take the dive into pre-war. I picked up 4 sets. We all did. We'll let our guest go first. Why don't you rattle off your first set, and then we'll see if we're a match, and so on and so forth.
Well, I'll tell you. I'll show you a set. It's the 1923 W572. Forgive me, I have boxes all over here because I have near sets of all these. And this set is it's a strip card set, cutout, blank back. And a lot of your strip cards are going to be more affordable. And this is a set that is rare, but it's under everybody's radar. And if you're looking for some lower end Hall of Famers, we're not talking Babe Ruth, Ty Cobb, but if you're looking for some other Hall of Famers, you can get them far less in this set and all the strip card sets. But this is a really scarce one that I don't think people realize how scarce. And some of these stars you can get for under $100, minor stars and not as collected Hall of Famers. I don't want to call them minor Hall of Famers because in my mind I don't see it that way. But the ones like your Chick Hafeys and those kinds of players. And the more we move on, us older guys and baseball fanatics, we know all those old names. We want all their cards, but a lot of newer collectors don't know their names and aren't chasing their cards and aren't bidding them up. And you can get some really cool looking cards in this set for not a whole lot of money, under $100. Here's a Frankie Frisch.
I love the set because it's a strip card set, but it's actual images, and I'm a sucker for that, as opposed to some of the cartoonish, as you mentioned, strip cards you might see.
Yeah, now if you're going to go back into the 20s, if you want color, you got to get strip cards.
Right.
Everything else is black and white. If you want to collect the great players of the 1920s, and most of them are pretty scarce, you have to collect black and white, or you don't have cards from the 20s. I particularly like the colored. Let me get one here. The colored strip cards.
Yeah,
I like these things.
Eddie Collins.
Another, less expensive way to go to collect some of the great Hall of Famers. Even if you have a few thousand to spend, you're going to get, you can get a Babe Ruth or a Walter Johnson or a Ty Cobb strip card where you can't get their other playing days cards. And a strip card. I mean, look at this great George Sisler.
Who's that guy, Aaron? I never heard of him.
Yeah, I've never heard of him. Yeah.
And there are, some of the images don't look all that much like people. I know there was a Pawn Stars episode where the guy brought that one Babe Ruth. I don't know the number off the top of my head, but it's a goofy looking Babe Ruth image, right? But some of them look a heck of a lot like the player.
I think that was I saw that episode. I think it was it the W515 where he's kind of cartoony and
yeah, I can't remember the number. I never remember any of these numbers off the top of my head, nor do I even try, to be honest with you. Some of them are very scarce. Some of the -2, -3. I just buy the ones I like the look of. When it comes to strip cards, I'm not that concerned about the rarity on them, to be honest. It's very confusing.
The guy in the middle.
I just try to buy the ones I like.
The guy in the middle is good with all of that stuff. He remembers all the numbers. I don't either. I'm the same way.
I will see. I get lost in those though, because some of those are the -2, -1, like it's confusing, and then all the mirror image stuff.
Same, right?
Right.
Yeah.
There's it's subtle differences.
I do like the two with the mirror image. That's really cool.
Yeah.
Those are fun.
I have I have this one. Speaking of that, where is it? Well, I have two of them that are wrong. Well, I have the corrected one. This Ty Cobb here has one where they have him as a right-handed.
Yep.
As right-handed. And I love this. this is Rogers Hornsby. They have him
Yeah.
batting left-handed and listed as a shortstop.
Yeah.
And then, of course, they do have another set that has it corrected. I think they still list him as a shortstop, but they have the image.
Isn't there a Ruth out there like that too?
Yep.
Yeah,
I have the one where
like a red
right
Ruth.
Yeah. Yeah, he's
Yep.
throwing right-handed.
Yeah. Yeah. That's fun.
So the $1 million question, Aaron, is that a match for you?
I did not pull any of the W's.
Okay.
No, I did not. Did you?
Were they an honorable mention at all?
I actually didn't. I kept my honorable mentions kind of short. I have stacks in front of me, but it's only from maybe 5 or 6 sets. So I did not pull any of those.
Okay. I will say only because I watched John's video from 2 days ago and thought it was perfect. I did. And I pulled the only one that I have, but he's 100 for all the reasons he just said. He's 100% right. There's a ton of value in the strip cards. They're just as cool. I'm an image guy, but this one was actually a gift from Sammy for me. And it's the W515-2 of Ray Shulk. And,
nice.
You can get these for a fraction of what would be considered, I guess, more of their mainstream sets of that particular time. And if we're talking in the 20s, what is a mainstream set? Like, what would you, I don't even know what you really consider a mainstream set. Is it a cash and is it the caramels? I mean, what is it at that point in time?
Yeah, probably the caramels, I would say, are the most mainstream in the 20s.
I would think so. And those, and this
the American caramel, the Nilsson's chocolates, maybe.
Sure.
Yeah.
All right. Well, then that said, I'll let you go, Aaron. What's the first one on your list?
Well, I kind of went with the similar mindset, of course, keeping in mind budget and things. I feel like one of the biggest hurdles for people jumping into pre-war, and you hear a lot of hate in my ultra modern definition, anything after the mid 40s. 48 Bowman gets hate just because it's black and white, and people are just so drawn to color. So I feel like if you're going to get into it, you got to start jumping into stuff like this and just get into the 40 play balls.
Oh my God, I have that. That was my next one.
All right. Well, now we got a match.
No, I totally agree. The 40 play ball set is so undervalued.
It is, and I will say, not only I feel like it's a roadblock for black and white. I'm so close to the whole Hall of Fame run. I know I'm not set collector, but Hall of Fame run collector I'll do, and maybe a couple extra honorable mention kind of players that are significant. But I feel like you can get they're great value. Gehringer's probably one of the more expensive ones, and he's still under $100. Hubble, but then you run into it's a chance to pick up guys like Walter Johnson, who it's so confusing. People will say, I don't want post-playing days, but it's post-playing days. It's still 80 plus years old. What the heck?
Right,
it's crazy.
Right. I feel the exact same way. And I had a old Pete Alexander here to show because they also put the nicknames, which is really cool.
Yes.
Very
yeah,
cool.
you have after playing days, but they're vintage. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yep.
Super vintage. And for those of us that are collecting outside the Hall of Fame, it's so funny. This card, to me, this is amazing, ridiculously great, because some of his playing day stuff is either impossible or just not that attractive, in fairness. This is actually a really cool image. Somewhat reasonable. It's gotten less and less reasonable.
Yeah, but it's climbing real quick. It
was reasonable a few years ago.
Yeah.
I don't know about now.
Yeah. I bought one of those. Funny, talking about like reasonable and dipping your toes in. I spent up for it in like 2008. There was one, I swear you'll see it out there somewhere. There was a little chip out of the corner and somebody had like some green coloring on it. So somebody actually took a crayon to the gosh darn thing. But I bought it for $195. And I finally moved on to it when we bought our house. I had to kind of reallocate some funds, and I think I, got a comma for it. And I was like, that was a good return. That wasn't so bad. But I'll never forget that. It was $195, and I was like, I don't know, should I pay up for this thing? And now, with time, everything looks smart.
I see them beat selling for like $5,000.
Exactly.
That's the asking price. I don't know what they're selling for.
True. That's true. Yeah.
So we know John was a match. You want to show some more, John, of the 40 play balls?
I I had a cool one here, and not a guy that has a lot of cards, and that's Daffy Dean, and he's listed as Daffy.
That is
That's
cool.
awesome.
That's a cool
That's
one.
awesome.
Also, I don't have it in front of me, but there's a Spud Chandler in here, and this is really his only depending if you consider an exhibit card mainstream or not, it's pretty much his only mainstream, somewhat normal size, regular size card.
Wrong
here.
audience for that, John.
No, I'm just saying because I'm with you guys, but a lot of people, I'm trying to use the right word. But Spud Chandler doesn't have many, and great pitcher. I think his ERA was insane, and he doesn't have a lot of cards. That one's a little pricey for a guy that many people have never heard of. These are also great to get signed because of the black and white. The signature, like in blue, just pops.
That looks great.
And a player like this, you could get for under $100 usually.
That's a great set, and I'm not a match on that. So I didn't even think about that, to be honest with you. My mind was wrapped in such a different direction. My first set is going to kind of be, it's right on the book. It's pre-war. You can consider it pre-war for the most part. My whole thing is value, right? So my collection isn't as big as your guys' collection. So I want to get certain players, or I want to have a run of certain players. And my whole thing is, where can I get that value? And this set I've known about it forever, but I've recently started to really dive into this. And Aaron, you already know, I'm guessing, but I think this is a fantastic set for anyone to get into if they're starting in pre-war. I only have two right now. And the two I'm going to show you were both actually one was a gift and the other one was under $13. And this is theoretically pre-war. It's the 1936 to 1946 salutation exhibits. So our buddy Stukes was ahead of his time, right? He was probably buying these for $3 or $4, and now I'm paying $13 for it. But
I bought mine for a few bucks back in the day too.
Right.
You could get Joe DiMaggio for like $7.
Right. And
$7.
speaking of which, John, that's still the value DiMaggio. It is playing days, right? He played that entire time. And you're talking, you could probably find one for $150 or less, maybe. If you're not looking for the perfect graded card, that's a topic for another time. But
no, he didn't play that entire time, but it's still a cool card.
Yeah, you're right. Early, yeah, my bad. Yeah, but it wasn't like it didn't fall after him.
It was distributed during his playing days.
Yes, exactly. And I kind of look at that. Like, I know Mel Ott was done in 47, and I think this set goes to 46. So it was distributed while he was playing. And I'm like, all right, that's kind of cool. And, you can get into guys like this. He was still playing after 46, Luke. And, I think it was an episode that we did. We did a deep dive, Aaron. And I'm a Sox fan, and I only had 3 Luke Applings to show. I'm like, how do I call myself a Sox fan? So I started loading up on Luke Appling. So I'm like, I have to show some Luke Appling. And then
I have to tell you guys, I'm so excited. For years, I've been looking for one of those machines, and I finally won one.
Do you have it?
I have it coming.
Oh, awesome! That's fantastic.
Being shipped FedEx. I can't wait to get it. It has cards from the 60s in it, and I reached out to Stuke, of course, the expert, and he sent me some information, and the machine itself is much older. But somebody put 1960s cards in it.
Okay. That's awesome. I think Chris from Missouri has one too. I think he has one, if I'm not mistaken.
They got really pricey, and I found one for a great price. And I've been looking for one for years because I have like an uncut sheet that I think may be a proof. It's thinner, and that's what I was told when I got it. It's a half of an uncut sheet. And then I have one of the inserts from the machine, the bigger machine. I got one of the smaller machines. It just has two players,
right?
And it looks like it's about this big. So really a lot easier to display than some of the bigger ones. But I'm stoked to get it.
You gonna load it up? You gonna switch?
I don't know. I want to see what it is. I don't want to mess with it too much. I don't know the exact condition, if it's usable. I don't really want to use it.
Right.
But I will probably switch out the cards that are in it if I'm feeling lucky enough.
That's awesome.
You know,
That is
comfortable
so
enough
cool.
that I'm not going to do any damage.
I do have one more. I said this was a gift. I did a video a while ago. At the time, I didn't have any. I had no Lou Boudreau in my collection at all. And Dan, Steel City DW, I saw him at the National, and it was my first salutations and my first Lou Boudreau. So
I'm glad to see you rectified that situation.
yeah, there and you know what? Now the problem is I need 2 or 3 more. So that's typically you get one. Now I'm like, all right, I want a mini run. So that was my first set, the 36 to 46 salutation exhibits. Do you guys were either of you a match?
Well, quite honestly, I knew one of you would be showing that, so I didn't grab any.
Right.
I didn't even question that you weren't going to show that one.
How about you, Aaron?
Yeah, I didn't grab that exact one. So I mean, I've got a whole stack of exhibits sitting here, but I don't have any from that set. So
okay. Yeah,
we'll
and
call that unique.
when you talk about this, like just the fact that John brought up strip cards, I don't have a lot, but I showed my one. I'm like, okay, that's almost like a category within itself. Yet there's still 10 or 15 sets within strip cards, so you can go crazy.
Right. Yeah.
All right, cool. Well, then shoot, John, what's your next? So you had the 40 play ball, and you had the strip cards, right? So you're on your third one now. So what do you got?
Well, actually, he had the 40 play ball. I was just saying that I had pulled that out too, but I have other ones.
Oh, that wasn't on the Mount Rushmore then.
Technically, that was his.
Okay, all right, perfect. Then you roll with your second.
I always find a way to show extra sets.
That's awesome.
John is like 15 for his Mount Rushmore here.
Right. So this is
awesome.
1911 T201 Mecca cigarettes. And if you want to go back in time, this is a cool set. And these are definitely a lot less expensive than their E cards, T206s, and those kinds of cards. The Nap Ladjway is just one of my absolute favorites in the set. And these are double folders. You flip it over, and it's a different player.
Dang it. I have one, and I didn't pull it. I didn't even think of that. I only have one. But
yeah, I have a bunch of these. I got them pretty cheap. You know, here's a Trish speaker.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool.
They're cool looking.
Cobb
they're Mecca cigarettes.
Isn't Cobb the smaller side? Is Cobb he's the smaller side on one of them?
He's the smaller side.
Yeah,
he's the back of Crawford. Yeah.
And I'm not a grader, so I don't send in for grading. I don't know if you can request that he shows. Because if I had to display it myself, I would have him showing.
Right.
But Crawford's on it too. I mean, they're 2 great players. You don't want to miss out on Crawford, but I think most people would display the Cobb.
Right. No, that's a good call. I didn't even think of that. And like I said, I only have the one. Was that a match for you, Aaron?
I did not pull that. No, that's a good call. Yeah.
So where are you going? You went mainstream with your first one, the 40 play ball. I didn't think you'd yank that one out. I was shocked by that, but I get it. It's a beginning, like an entry level set and still affordable. What's your second one?
Well, I'm gonna just like disappoint you tonight because normally I'm the one pulling Vince Scully for the Mount Rushmore of Dodgers.
Right.
So normally I'm pulling like crazy stuff, but I actually went way more mainstream. And the next one I'm going to go with, and I'm going to do this for a reason. I think when people start thinking of pre-war, they think of things like this, and they think of Ruth and Gehrig and 33 Gowdy. And I feel like you have to get on the radar and even know it exists. But when you dive in, you start looking and you realize that players like this are way more affordable. Yep. And to me, it's that gateway. Like, oh, the Ruth is iconic. That's one of the most iconic cards, and the Gehrig is super iconic. But you can load up on Earl Combs, and you can get your Kyler, and these are all super reasonable. And because John's on, I tried to load up on all my ungradeds too, because I need a better.
You mean your cards.
Exactly.
Right. I need a better term because I feel like everyone treats it like it's this
it's a card.
Yes. Yeah.
I think you should have to qualify it when it's graded, not when it's just a card.
Right. Yeah. Right.
We always give the qualification to it if it's not graded now.
We should do the I don't know. I just have so much fun doing like this one's not a 2. This one's not a 1.5. Like,
It's hard to play bingo when they don't have numbers on them.
Right,
5,
right.
4, 2.
Yeah,
I got to be honest, Aaron. I maybe I overthought this one. I was stressed. You're usually the obscure guy, and now we've like flipped and role reversed here. So,
yeah,
33,
that's the fun of that.
33. Gaudy was not on my radar. Or 34s. Was it on yours at all, John?
Yeah, I was going to show those sets. I figured I'd go with. They're so iconic. I figured I'd go with ones that maybe aren't as iconic, but I agree with everything Aaron said. I mean, if you go to some of the lesser players, they're very affordable in those sets.
Yep. My first ever pre-war car that I purchased was the 33 Gaudy Ted Lyons.
Yeah. And now, how can you not love the 33 Gaudy set?
It's phenomenal. It's iconic.
Yeah.
So definitely.
I feel like I've almost shifted away from it just because it is like there's so many of them, and that's the one. You can go to any show, you can go to national, whatever, they're everywhere, and our eyes now are more trained for I've never seen that, what is that, or I haven't seen that in years.
Yeah.
So I feel like I almost take it for granted, but when you go back and you look at just like the color on a Fred Lindstrom, and you're like, that's amazing, that's gorgeous, that's a great looking card.
Growing up and seeing the Burt Randolph Sugar Book when I got one of those as a kid, looking at the 33 Gaudy, I mean, it's just classic to me. I mean, it's just those cards are so fantastic.
Yep, absolutely, absolutely. All right, well, I don't know if I should go very predictable or just go off the cuff. I'll go predictable. Everybody knew I was picking this set. If you even watched some of my channel, you know I'm picking this set. So this is my set when I'm budget buying and I'm jumping on eBay. This is the first set I go to. Aaron, you and I did a deep dive on it. I believe there's 5 types. I forgot already. 4 or 5 types within the sets. Sets run from 36 to 38. And it's the first one I grabbed is in honor of John, the Gaudy wide pens. So,
beautiful.
So there's
Wayner.
There's my Paul Wayner. This was bought at the National. I know John doesn't like when you point out imperfections in a card, but the imperfection is in the card is what made it perfect for me. There's a little bit of writing on the back. So this was a bargain. This was a bargain of all bargains. I've got the Bill Dickey. Obviously, I love the catcher cards.
Wait, what are the imperfections with the Bill Dickey?
None. They're perfect.
Okay.
It's perfect. All the rest of these are 10s. Al Simmons went on a little Al Simmons run there. Needed to add
a
Goose
great
Goslin.
player that gets no hobby love.
Yep, absolutely right.
Him and Harry Heilman.
Yep.
That's another one.
Yeah.
Manouche too. Heine Manouche, right?
Yeah.
Frankie Frisch.
I used to buy Heine Manouche cards when I was young because I would read about him in the old baseball books.
Right.
We're
And
going
now,
crazy.
Yeah.
I just picked up a Heilman.
There you go.
Man, he was a great player, right?
And these two were bought ungraded and early, and I graded them, which doesn't happen anymore. But that's my Luke Appling and
another great player that doesn't get a whole lot of love.
Yeah, and my Ducky Medwig. So
another great player that doesn't get a whole lot of love and doesn't have that many cards if you think about it.
No. You're talking, well, I could get into some other stuff.
Well, his 38 Gaudy is pretty pricey, believe me, because I just had to get it to complete my 38 Gaudy set.
Did you do scribbles?
It's not cheap, but it's not outrageous either.
Was it scribbles or non-scribbles?
I got the non-scribbles for him.
Okay.
I have a mixed set, so technically it's not the complete set because you have to have 2 of everything.
Right.
Technically a complete set. But I got every player. Let me put it that way.
I just want one of each. And I bought my first one about a month and a half ago. I got the Gehringer non-scribbles. So
that's such a great card.
Yeah.
And the Greenberg is such a great card. Of course,
yes.
The Joe DiMaggio is one of my favorite all-time cards.
Lombardi, that's a great card too. Al Lopez is a great card.
Oh, Al Lopez is a fantastic card.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I have to ask, was that a match for either of you? Or did you just know I was picking it?
I knew you were picking it.
Yeah, wide pens. I've got a slew, but I tried to pull a few that I knew well, I didn't think were in your stack. So yeah.
Well, you know what you know.
And it's important to
Bubble.
point out that those are really super thin. Like if you wave them, they're like paper.
Yep.
And anybody that sees these in the wild, because I have a lot of people that reach out to me and ask me if something's real. Hey, do you think this is real? Do you think this is counterfeit? They'll ask my opinion on things, and I get that a lot because they feel it, and it's so thin that they think it's some sort of reproduction, or they don't know what it is. And those things are very thin, almost near paper thin, but not quite.
You know what surprised me until I bought one ungraded? I didn't realize it, and I guess it's a set. We'll talk about it later. The R311s, National Chickles.
Yeah.
I actually thought those were much thicker than what they were until I bought one that was ungraded, and then I'm like, oh, this is thinner than I thought. So.
And those thin cards, I don't know your feelings on it, but I feel like because they're so thin, there's all these little issues. If you really like put it sideways and look, like you'll find them if you look at the lower graded ones with little almost surface wrinkles or whatever. But when you're looking at it head on, you don't see it. And so you get fabulous looking low grade ones.
Yep.
You really do. Because it's really not noticeable as much as it is on a regular cardboard card.
All right, everybody, pardon the technical difficulties. Welcome to the world of StreamYard. I'll be splicing this together later tonight, which I have very little skills in doing that. So we had some issues. I think we left off with my second pick, which was the Gaudy White Pens. And then we were going to, is it you next, Aaron? I think you were next, right? John showed two. I showed two. You showed two. It's actually John's turn. You showed the Gaudis.
Yeah, it would be John's turn, I think.
Yeah, John's turn for his third one. Yeah. So fire away, Mr. Mangini.
Okay, so I have the game cards starting in the ones I have here. 1913, they had some cool game cards. One that's always shown is the Nap Lajoie game, which you could find these in high grade, very cheap. These are good for modern collectors that like shiny, brand new looking cards. They have these versions, very cheap, just Nap Lajoie in that set. And then you have the National Game.
Great card.
Players, aside from the biggest names, are pretty cheap in this set. And then you have the Tom Barker game, which is very similar. They have different backs. And then in 1914, you have the Polo Grounds. And they're named that because they have the Polo Grounds on the back image of them. And these, if you're going to get into early, along with the mechas that I showed, these are the cheapest way to collect some great players.
And John, you mentioned that
they're pretty cool looking cards.
Yeah, bigger players are pricey, but a fraction of anything else from that era. They really are.
Yeah, like this Shoeless Joe Jackson, you can pay way less for than his other ones from that era.
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely.
And that used to be a very affordable card not so long ago.
Yeah, missed the boat on that one. I love how you say the unless they're the biggest players, and you show Joe Jackson, Ty Cobb, and Hans Wagner. So.
Well, these are the ones I pulled out.
Boom, boom, boom. Yeah,
you did the same thing with Gaudy. You pulled out
I did. I led at that. I did. Yeah, I went Ruth and Garrett right away.
You're the pot calling the kettle.
Is that a match for you, Aaron? Did you?
Yeah, I did not pull those, but I love them. I absolutely, that's something I do push people into immediately when they say, like, I need another idea. I need something that's more unique, more rare. Like, the images are fantastic. You're right. It's the minute you leave that inner circle, they're very affordable, and the player list is amazing for those sets. So, and they're all in great shape. I feel like even the ones that are, graded low or considered like roughed up, like they still look fantastic.
They do. I see some low grades on these, and I'm like, what are they seeing? This shoe is Joe Jackson's one of them.
From my side of things,
that don't look this good. And
from my side of things, it's actually. Oh, sorry, John. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say, from my side of things, it's actually harder to find the lower grades, right? That's what I want. but they were game cards, and some of them are, 6, 5, 6s, and 7s, and
they're very easy to find in high grade. That's important to note.
Yep.
Very, very easy to find in high grade.
So Aaron, you didn't pull. Well, I'm going to roll over you because you'll be next, because that was one of my selections as well. And for all the reasons John said, right? You see the bigger cards or the bigger players, they're a fraction of what T206s and things of that era would be. I only have 2 of them. I'll let you guess which one I need. So here's my Joe Tinker, and it's the national game, right? And then here's my Frank Chance, and it's the national game. So what do you think I'm going to be shooting for next? So being from Chicago, which one am I missing? Obviously, it's the Evers. And I believe it is Evers. There's a debate if it's Evers or Evers. I believe it's Evers.
Yeah, I saw something. I always called him Evers. I always heard everybody call him Evers. Then I read something somewhere where it was Evers. But then I saw an old video of Branch Rickey, who played with him, and he called him Evers.
Yep.
So now I switched back to Evers. There was another game card I wanted to include in these that I forgot. And that is an even older 1903 national fan craze.
Yes.
Fan craze. And I wanted to include these. I have a way of sneaking in extra sets because these are all different sets technically.
No, I get it.
My point is the game cards are always less, unless you're getting the Hannes Wagner, which at one time was like $500. Now it's like 10,000. These the secondary players are pretty darn cheap, usually under $200, and you're getting a card from 1903. 1906. The first ones were in 1903, but they were generic. You can also get those, but they don't have specific players on them. But from 1906, these are, predate T206s by 3 years.
Yep.
And they're cheap and they're great images on there. And again, you get them in higher grade. You would think that these would appeal to modern collectors more. Because like what Aaron and I, we collect a lot of beat up old rare stuff that might look, not so nice to people that collect the shiny stuff. But these game cards, they're just perfect.
Yeah.
This is a 10 for God's sakes.
Yes.
They're just easy to get in high grade.
I'm stunned at how affordable that Lajoie is. Like that's my in on Lajoie. If I need them, I need to add them. I'm like, all right, that's a quick one, and then I'll buy another one. But
almost all of them grade so high, and I wouldn't be afraid of buying a raw one because they're all in such great condition because these things were in boxes. They were playing cards.
Nope, I agree.
Yeah. My fear is that's going to turn into like the Sinella Ruth that everyone says like you could have got those for $20, and all of a sudden it's going to be $400 for that NAP card, and you're like, dang it.
Right.
So when I first got back into the hobby after I was done traveling around and everything, I got settled. I got all my cards out in 2014, and one of my first purchases again was the whole Sinella set and 2 versions of the Babe Ruth, both in 6s. And all of that was $300. And so I had a PSA. One of the Ruths was floating around in that stupid PSA holder.
Right.
And I freaking hated it. It was a Type 2, and I had a Type 1 in an ice holder. And they were both 6s, and they both look identical, and I'm not a back collector. And so I wanted to sell that Ruth. It was impossible to sell the damn thing. Nobody wanted it. I don't collect overseas Ruths. You couldn't give it away back then. And then during COVID, oh my God, everybody started touting it. It was the only affordable Ruth, and it just shot up. And then 3s were selling for $3,500.
Yep. That's I think that's everyone's first pull as an affordable Ruth. I think there are others out there.
I always thought it was an awesome card. I wanted it. I was shocked when nobody wanted it. I really was shocked.
Yeah. No, that's a great. And
it was a Ruth.
Yep.
It was a Babe Ruth.
Oh, you got to say
it's like if you put Babe Ruth, Jackie Robinson, on any, you put their names, Mickey Mantle on any card today, it sells for a fortune.
Yep. I think we can. I think we could possibly throw Honus Wagner and Ty Cobb into that list
Yeah.
too.
Mantle and Jackie have surpassed them, I think.
Right. Well, I'm on 3. That was John's third because I'm a match for John. I only have one more, so you're next, Aaron. You've got to show your third.
So my third, well, I guess John named it. So I went, like I said, I went completely opposite of where you were, and I'll go John style. If you're going to get into this set, you can either go with the ones that draw you in. I felt like we had to go. To me, this is the number one set. Period.
I thought you were talking affordable cards,
right?
Affordable cards.
I know, right. Yeah. Well, you can do the little run of Cobb, and then you can do that.
I knew he was going to do this. That's why
I can't swing one of those right now, John. And we're on the affordable channel right now.
I could do my Honus.
Yeah, there you go. That I could afford.
Yeah,
right. Well, you could pick up the this is, you talk about like the investment grade stuff. This is from my childhood. I'm sure John's seen these.
Those came in baseball card kits.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. I remember opening that thing. $6,500 is the value of that Eddie
You
Plank.
get a binder and some pages and some vintage cards, and on the back there, it's explaining what it is. Those were great, man. I would buy those baseball card kits. I still have some.
That's pure classic starting your collection era. But when you get into, again, calling these raw feels weird. We'll just call them cards. But you get into your Chief Bender, your Huey Jennings, your Willie Keeler, really tough one, Jack Chesbro. These, especially if you're willing to take them not graded. Mine's got some schmutzy back, whatever you want to call that on the back. It's got a little bit of extra something to it, but almost the run. I got my Chance, and I got my, we'll go Evers.
Those are some great reprints.
Yeah, I know. Bought those from you. No, but,
they were listed as authentic, though, right?
Yeah. Year unknown. But no, I mean those realistically, I think you could pick up 4 of those for $400 or $500, and they're $100 each. They're Hall of Famers. They're in good enough shape. Their color's great. They wouldn't grade super high, but who cares? They're beautiful cards and they're Hall of Famers, and it's the most iconic set to me that exists. So,
not to get off base, but something I never understand is when somebody says, I'm looking for this card in a 3.
Yeah.
I'm looking for this card in a PSA 3, or I'm looking for this card in an SGC 4. You haven't even seen the card. You've already predetermined the number you want on it. Right. Like 3s and 4s are all over the place. It could be way off center. It could have surface issues. I don't understand how you just predetermine that you're shopping for a card by the number.
Well, and I'll show you that.
What are your thoughts on that?
I could tell you what Aaron's thoughts are. He's far too polite, but he's right in that same boat you're in right now. I'll speak for Aaron on that.
I mean, you've never seen the card yet.
Yeah.
Well, look at this thing. What exactly are you wanting to upgrade? And this is trying to hide the actual grade, but it's a 1.5.
Yeah.
So you have to get to a 2. What? So you have a crease across his face, and maybe the back's a little cleaner. Like, the number has nothing to do with how great the card is. The color is fantastic.
I can't tell you how many cards I have like that vintage, and I can't find anything wrong with the darn thing. Just like this shoeless judge, I can't find anything wrong with it to warrant that number. I have a Honus Wagner 1.5. I can't find even a little crease, no pinhole, no paper loss that I could find anywhere after looking for years. It just, some of this stuff just doesn't make sense. But I don't care. Like who? I don't care. I mean, somebody that's selling the card would clearly care, because if it got the grade it deserves or looks like, they'd get a lot more money. But I mean, these things are just beautiful. I see grades 4 grades higher that aren't as nice as these ones I have.
Yep. That's one of the many issues that and of course I knew with this group we'd talk about grading a little bit, but that's one of the several issues that I have is first and foremost, even before the mess that they are now, with the increasing prices and buying up other companies, and it's becoming a monopoly. The inconsistency is miserable. So at that point in time, what am I spending my money on? If I can't, the inconsistency of what the grade is, and quite honestly, the mislabeling of cards, if you can't even get that right, what am I doing? Why
I can't tell you
this?
how many I have with the wrong label on it.
Right. So that was kind of my breaking point. And Aaron and I have discussed, John, because I know you love this topic. You know, even when I was getting into bigger cards for myself, I got my, you know, there's the story of my Cash and Ruth. Aaron helped me with that. It was ungraded, and in my head, I'm like, this is a Babe Ruth. I've got to grade this, and I graded it and got a 1. I have some things in the works where I'm going to purchase another big card at Independence, and I have no intention of grading it now, just based on the things that we're talking about now. It'll stay ungraded, and I'll just label it. Beautiful card. Yeah, absolutely beautiful. By the way, affordable Ruth, for those who, you know, we were talking about the Sinellas, quadruple printed in that set, because he was in all 4 of the sets. That's still a somewhat affordable Ruth.
They came in 4 different boxes.
Yep.
There was the green, the yellow, the green, yellow and green. There was a magenta and I believe blue.
Yeah, they called it funny, like they call it canary and something else.
Yeah, and they had the checklist of who was on the back. This guy here, he checked off the ones he had. But yeah, Ruth was in all of them, so he's the most common in the set, which is interesting. You can find this card all day long.
That's what cracks me up. And you know, there are others out there. The Bulgaria, I like the Schmeling, and the Ruth, I think, is a great card and still kind of affordable. So
yeah, and these are impossible to fake. The way the paper is so unique, and you can faintly see through them on the back.
Yep.
And I just think they would be impossible to fake.
Plus, there's a tone,
like the 1950 Drakes too. They have this rough cardboard. Just the way it looks like a cookie,
right?
And I just think it would be so difficult, if not impossible, to fake that. You're a printer; you would know more than me.
Well, that's not only the stock, but the toning on the back. There's a tint on all the backs of the cash-ins, and it's back toning.
Have you ever noticed how you could see through?
Yep,
to the border.
Absolutely.
You know, that's one way for the 33 Gaudi that you showed. You know, that little pink, you could see through there. Yep. That's hard to fake.
Well, I will say this. We were, I even lost track. Where were you at, Aaron, on your third?
That was 3. Yeah. And I'm probably blowing your mind. Everything is exactly mainstream and nothing crazy.
Well, I will go with my 4th, because this is pushing the borders of, is it a card, right? That's the question. That's another question John loves to ask. Is it a card? In my world, I guess
everything's a card to me.
Right. I guess technically,
unless it's a stamp, then it's clearly a stamp.
Right. But it's a plain days item, and that's all I care about. You know, I like the pins, and you joke with me, Aaron, oh, you're collecting round things now. I like all that stuff. I found this set to be extremely, extremely affordable. Players that are going to be triple of what these things cost, and they're playing days. And I only have one, and I know you have a bunch, Aaron. It's the 1935, 1936 Diamond Matchbooks.
Love those things.
And this was my way of getting into Mel Ott. This was $50. So you tell me what card, where are you going to find a Mel Ott for $50? I mean,
to me, those are cards.
Yeah.
They're cardboard. They're meant to be cards.
I'm with you.
Just because they don't look like a Topps card doesn't mean they're not a card.
And
I say the same thing about the Colgan's chips.
Yeah, one of my favorite sets, but we'll get into that later. Because of you, John, I will say that. It's one of my favorite sets, but absolutely love these things. I've got probably 5 or 6 on my watch list right now. And then this is just small, when I want to pick stuff off. Oh, I need another Dizzy Dean. I can get Dizzy for under $100. Boom, I'm going to go grab that.
I'll tell you, those have gone up a lot in value too. You used to be able to get those for like $30.
Yeah, I know.
Not so long ago.
I've actually
$35 or something.
Yeah, I've heard, and it was like 2 or 3 years ago. Like it wasn't that long ago.
Yeah.
They're starting to climb. So I need to.
And there are different variations in some of the colors. Like I think, what is it? The black is a little more rare, and And so sometimes now you have to pay up because everything's about scarcity these days.
Yep.
You know, ever since they started stamping numbers on modern cards, you know, everybody's going back in time and looking for the rare things in vintage too, I think.
I think
mean,
part of the
Aaron,
fun was
we've always
something.
gone after rare, but
Yeah.
there are more people now going after rare than ever before. And
Yes.
it's driving the prices up.
I think part
Yeah.
of the fun with something like this is the fact that it wasn't intended to be a collectible when it was created. So when you
I disagree.
well, yeah, I guess you're kind of right?
I think it was meant to be a
Right.
collectible.
But do you think back in 1935 that people who were striking a match to smoke a cigarette had any intention of putting this in a top loader, or knew that 70 years later?
Well,
is what it
back
would
then
be?
they didn't have top loaders, but I can tell you that Jefferson Burdick was already doing his checklist. So
Okay.
clearly there were collectors.
Yeah, that makes sense. And then like the Dixie lids, things like that.
Yeah,
I love.
Dixie lids too. Those are meant to be collectibles.
Yep.
What do you?
love
I don't think they would take the time to put a Mel Ott or somebody on a Dixie lid and you open it and then throw it away.
Right.
That doesn't seem to make any sense, but it
That's
could be.
fair.
No, that jives. And that's it for me, guys. That's my fourth, because I only have one. Soon to have a lot more though.
I love those things. I have a whole bunch of them. I got them back. You know, when I was young and didn't have a whole lot of money, and one of the old players, that was an easy way to get them. That
Exactly.
and the 47 to 66 exhibits you showed, those were two really cheap ways to get some fantastic Hall of Famers.
Absolutely.
Some of the greatest players.
Yeah. So
And the write-ups are awesome.
the write-ups
That's
on
the
these
other
are
thing.
fantastic. Yes.
Yeah.
You have the
I
Bronco,
love
don't
them.
you?
Well,
Didn't you get the
Yeah, the
Nagurski?
Bronco was a cool one. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was a fun one.
You want to talk about distribution? I mean, there were no vintage cards more widely distributed than the exhibits, right?
Right.
Right. Yeah.
They even have Canadian exhibits
Yes.
that were distributed
Yep.
up there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they were the original Tops and O-Pee-Chee right there.
That's
Yeah.
correct. Absolutely. So we're on number 4. We'll go to
Okay,
John. I'm done. So it swings
All
back
right,
to John.
another set from the 30s that, again, if you're not getting the absolute top players, very affordable, and that's the batter up cards.
Yeah.
They come in different shades. I've always loved these things. These little, you know, they were meant to be punched out, but most of the time you find them not punched out, which shocks me. I can't believe kids didn't punch these out more. But you know, in the 80s, they started making those tall punch out cards.
Yep.
And I've just always been drawn to these things for some reason. But these, I think, are undervalued, and a cheaper way to get into some of the Hall of Famers.
Yeah, very cool.
I will.
I have a whole bunch of these.
I will.
And then they have
John's showing.
just for extra here.
Yeah.
You know, they have the 37 O-Pee-Chees, which are very similar. Now these are rare and expensive.
I was
these
just
are all
going to say
pricey.
those aren't affordable.
But I just wanted to go
Yeah.
over the comparison because I do like the pop outs.
I
They're
love.
This is like a combination of the 38 Gowdy, the batter ups,
the long,
and
like the long,
and the DeLong, you know,
Yeah.
because they're in a stadium, they're punch outs, and they have the cartoons.
I
Yeah,
love
I
that
love
set.
that.
I
Yeah.
love that set, and that set's expensive. And I'll get one, but
Yeah, I've been working on this set. I got a bunch,
I love
but
it.
I'm missing. I need the Jimmy Fox, and that thing has gotten. It's gotten outrageous even since I started shopping for one. Like it keeps going. People are. I don't see them selling. Like I've been watching a couple for at least 7 months. Like they're not
Right.
selling, but what they're asking is a lot.
Yeah.
And anyway, I haven't pulled a trigger yet.
Do you have the Fox, Aaron?
I do.
Okay.
Now, yeah, I mean, that set gets crazy because you can get into DiMaggio and Feller. I even saw somebody had a Feller recently that was.
Well, those two are outrageous.
Right.
Yeah, it was painful. Like his price, I think, was fair, but it was still like it hurt. So I didn't go for it for sure. But.
You know, if you want to talk about what is and isn't a rookie card, they consider these cards not rookie cards. Now, the DiMaggio wouldn't be anyway, I don't think, because of the 36 worldwide cup. But,
gum.
you know, if you don't consider those rookie cards, it doesn't really matter if you do or not. Collectors do. And that's why you have to pay a fortune for that Bob Feller.
Yeah.
you know, because most of his cards are doable. Even the 38 Gaudi, if you could pay
Yep.
a few thousand, is doable. But when
Yeah.
you get into that card, you know, it's outrageous. Of course,
Yeah.
his Leaf too, but the Leaf is super short print.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
you never see it. You never see the 49 Leaf for sale ever. Like that's like a ghost. Every
Yeah.
once in a blue moon, you see one.
So
Yeah. Yeah.
I did show the one that was an honorable mention for me because this is a set that I can afford. And you know, so John was in line with my thinking, like, all right, how do you get in, you know, because I'm only been in the pre-war for maybe a year and a half or 2 years, all the stuff we're talking about is what I'm snacking up first because I'm looking at the big stuff going, just not in the budget right now.
Yeah, and you know, I just want to say that us YouTubers are ruining it for everybody else because, you know, growing up, collecting these cards and being into pre-war from the time I was a little kid, I would always buy these things up, and they were always cheap. All the things, all the sets we're talking about, with the exception of the 33 Gaudi, growing up, were all, and I ended up with a bunch of those too. But the lesser players were still affordable in that set. But they were all very, very affordable. You know, until COVID, they were all very, very affordable. And one of the reasons, and probably the main reason, is because people don't know about these things. Any set that's not tops or mainstream, you know, they call oddball. And all these cards, like there's 2 million oddball sets and only a handful of mainstream ones, which
Right.
makes no sense. But I digress. But so nobody knew about these things. And now on YouTube, Aaron, you were just saying that you picked up a card you had saw me show. And I've picked up cards I see other people show. And, you know, that I never saw before, I didn't know about. And when we're talking about these cards and these sets, it's going to raise the prices on them.
Yes.
Yep.
So then that becomes the quandary, which we've had side conversations on with friends, is if you're really going after something, how much do you really want to talk about it till you got what you need? And then,
Right.
and then you can go talk about it.
Yeah,
Right.
I don't talk about any cards until after I acquire them now.
Right. Right. Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. It's tough, especially when there's so few. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Rarity scarcity. It only takes
Well,
one
you
or
know,
more money.
in the modern YouTube world, if we're on here and we're like, oh, I really want this particular card, this player is so fantastic. There's only, you know, a handful of these things, and you put an eBay search. Well, somebody watching your video put an eBay search, and they get the same alert. And if you're doing something when you get the alert, that card is gone.
Yep.
Yeah.
Even happens within the community.
And they wouldn't even have known about it.
Right.
You know, if you didn't tell them.
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of cards that I've been bidding on, and we all now talk on the side. 9 times out of 10, we're bidding against our friends, and it's like, oh, I didn't know you were the underbidder on. I was doing a show for Dan's Vintage PC's channel on the 29 cash-ins, and there were a bunch of cash-ins on eBay, and I wanted the Freddie Lindstrom, and I was bidding on it, and I said, hey, just so you know, I'm bidding on this. I want to get it for your show. He's like, I'm the underbidder right now. I'm like, oh, okay. So he's like, no, you take that one. Are you looking at the Lefty O'Doul? I'm like, no, I'm not. So you take that one. So we had to discuss who was going to bid on what when we were.
Yeah,
buying.
and I think a lot of us do that. You know, if somebody will send me a picture and they'll send me a listing, and they'll just send me the listing, and I'm like, are you sending that because you think I want it, or are you bidding on it?
Right.
Because
right.
you know, maybe I want it, but I don't want to bid. If you're bidding on it, you send it to me. Like that would be a terrible thing to do to somebody. So yeah, or if we know, like Rick and I are in the same auction, we're like, which ones are you bidding on? Which ones are you bidding on? I don't want to bid against you.
Yeah.
No, we're well versed. Actually, Aaron, I sent you a bunch of stuff today just in case you said I'm the number on it. I've been like, all right, take it. You know, that's typically what I do. I'm like, you'll get it before I will take it. So. And
then if they put, you know, if they put a cool card on Facebook, by the time I get to make an offer, Aaron's already bought it.
Nice.
I miss out on those.
Yeah, every so often. Yeah, it's there's been a couple times I'll watch cards and I'm thinking like that's going for a good deal, and all of a sudden like 2 weeks later, John's like, look what went through on eBay with only one bid. I'm like, he got that thing. That's crazy. Yeah, the what was it? 67 Venezuelan Yastrzemski, I think.
Yeah,
I
think
that was the card you picked up, and it was like I was watching that thing, and I was like, no one's bidding on that thing. It's going to stay like ridiculously low. And like 2 weeks later, you're like, look what I picked up for a great deal. Like,
Oh, is that right? You were watching it?
I was,
It
I
was
have it.
I thought
So
it was a great example. And from the
it
Triple
was,
Crown year, I wanted.
yep, phenomenal. Yeah, you did great on that.
My
Now,
favorite is when
do
I
you
have
find
something.
yourself? I have to ask you this because I just did it today. Do you find yourself buying cards just because they're such a great deal sometimes? Like maybe a card you weren't on eBay looking for, but you stumble across one and it's just
There's times
seems so low.
I end up losing a lot of cards because I'll put in a bid and say like, that's an $80 Lindstrom. I'll put $40 on it because if no one bids on the darn thing, I might as well buy it for $40. And sometimes I'll actually message Jason and be like, I just picked this thing up for $20. It's probably worth 40. Do you want it for 20? I don't need it. It's too good to let, like, somebody needs to have that.
There's a pile
I come
at
across
Aaron's.
buy it nows, and it just seems like, if I've been shopping for these cards, and that's the only time I have an idea of the prices, but I'm kind of aware of what they've been selling for, what people have been asking, and I'll stumble on one. It's just such a great deal. Like I just picked up a 1950 Drake's Duke Snyder. I mean, everyone I've been looking at for 2 years has been like $575 or more. And I found a great example for 200 and some. I was looking for it anyway. Like I needed to add it for my set, but I almost felt obligated to buy it at that price. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, same way. Absolutely.
I pigeonhole myself. I'm looking for particular players. I'm looking for, my collection is much smaller than you guys. So, I want to add players and I want to add different sets. So like in my head that, the wide pens is a set that I will always go to when I'm like, all right, I got $50 to burn. Let me see what I can find. And then I'll kind of dig through that. But if I'm going $200 or $300, there's specific items that I always wanted one of the Dixie Lid premiums. I got the Gabby Hartnett. There are certain things that I just want, and I'm still pigeonholed in that fashion. So we've got a friend, Joe, who buys on deal alone. And then if he's got it already, he'll flip it. So
yeah.
I have to tell you, the way I built up my collection was the low-hanging fruit, really. I would go after the cards that if I stumbled on it, a great deal, hadn't seen it before, pick it up. And I've been like a free safety. If you pigeonhole yourself and you're going after specific cards, that's great. I mean, we all go after certain sats or there's certain dream cards we want. Of course, I do that too. But you're probably not getting the best cards for the dollar.
That's an excellent point. I agree.
And
100%.
if you're going to collect for 30 years, you'll have other opportunities to get those cards. There's some cards that Aaron and I collect where there's only 3 of them or something like that. I'm not talking those. But you can go get a Hank Aaron rookie anytime you want.
Right.
If you stumble on a good one and at a great price, you should probably jump on it and put off some other cards that you could get at any time. And that's the best way to get the bang for your buck and build a great collection. But if you're super focused, that doesn't work. But I think Aaron and I, we're not that focused.
No, my focus is more towards my focus is low hanging fruit focus, right? So, I mean, at the National, you were with me, John. I always wanted a Tattoo Orbit, and I found that Al Simmons ungraded, and I'm like, holy
that's
cow.
a great looking card, by the way.
I'm like, this is crazy.
He's holding that bat.
And I'm like, all right, White Sox uniform. I'm like, this is it for me. This is gonna be my Tattoo Orbit. And I brought John over. I'm like, is this real? I just wanted to make sure because I'm like, tell me this is real. And you looked at it and you're like, no, that's a good price. And you got it. So I snagged it. So
I'll tell you, when I go to the National or any card show, I have no preconceived notion of any card to buy. I always have cards in the back of my head I know I need for my sets and so forth. And like I said, most of those I can get at any time. I will find them again. Maybe not any time, but I will find them. So when I go to the National or any card show, I'm looking for that stuff I never saw before. I never come across. I'll find things that I've been looking for years and never saw one pop up. And there's a guy and he has 2 of them in his case. Two cards I've been chasing for years and I never see.
Was it?
And I got to spend my money on those.
Was one of them the Dizzy Dean that came with the shirt? I remember that in Cleveland. You were so jacked. I'm like, what is that? I never heard of it.
It was just the price and the copies because people were asking so outrageous prices for those, and I just wanted them. So those are some. I got Oh, of course, I'm going to draw a blank now. Let me show you. I'll grab it because I have it right here close.
And then we got to get to your fourth, Aaron. I feel bad. We're gabbing away here. I knew.
Go ahead. Go to his fourth.
I knew once the
No.
three of us got together. Shoot your fourth, Aaron, while he's looking.
No, this is this is exactly the fun of it. So I decided to pull a compliment to yours, and here's my rationale. Mine were all very strategic on like mindset. So I did 40 play balls. Great chance to get retired players, still super vintage, affordable. Gaudi's classic, affordable. T206, super classic, affordable. And then I decided to go with something that would get you into the oversized, back to black and white. This is your lead into your Butterfingers and all the cash-ins. To me, this was, it's the affordable route. Instead of wide pen, go fine pen. But you get some action shots. That's a Jim Bottomley that was dozens of dollars. Greenberg with Dickey. I tried to pull all the ones that were like combos. Wainers.
Great card.
Big Jim. Yeah, I mean, that's just who's this? Lefty Gomez and Red Ruffing.
Red Ruffing. I was just looking at that card the other day.
Gabby Hartnett and Kai Kyler. And again, like, I don't know how this happened to me, but I have two of them. So,
oh, you do you?
At least I did before I said that out loud. So maybe I don't anymore. Cool one. I think that's Lloyd Weiner, if I remember right. Maybe not. Yeah, it is with Gabby Hartnett. Oh, that's even better than I thought.
Yeah, I've actually seen. That's a great one.
Hartnett and Lon Warnicki.
Yeah, that's a great card.
And here's how affordable these are. I ordered a Butterfinger Earl Averill. I had just ordered an Earl Averill from this set, and when I got the Butterfinger, the guy wrapped it. I hope he doesn't ever watch this. I hope it's nobody that actually watches YouTube, because he did not wrap it well. I was going to email and be like, dude, this is atrocious. But with
some of the Butterfingers that they send out, and they're so fragile.
Yeah.
And that thing come with a corner hanging out of like they'll send it in a manila folder or something.
Yeah.
And it's like, come on, man.
Yeah. I mean, it was, but he included this thing with it. So I have two of these. He's just like, yeah, that's how expensive these things aren't. So I mean, it's rough and it's got some goober on the back, but who cares? It was free. That's how not expensive these are. It's a Hall of Famer as a toss-in.
But wasn't the other one, you and I were looking at it, you're like, how is this so cheap? I'm like, I don't know. There was one, we were looking at an Averill. I can't remember if it was wide pen or fine pen, and we were texting. I'm like, it was like $12. I'm like, how is this? That was a John scenario. I think you bought it. Didn't you say, well, we just got to buy this. So
I bought a Bill Dickey one time for like $7 a few years ago. Some of these people, I mean, people just didn't want these things, and sellers couldn't move them. They give them away.
Yep.
Yeah. It's oversized. It's black and white. Who would want that stupid thing? Like
that Bill Dickey's awesome too.
Yes, it is.
I wanted to tell you about my the national with the
go ahead.
So the Dizzy Dean, and there's a Dizzy and Daffy Dean. They're 1935 Rice Sticks. Rice Sticks was a company back in the 1800s that made, it was like a grain company or something, made food. And they had moved out of that into clothing, or added clothing. One or the other. So they had clothing. So in 1935, they made a Dizzy Dean shirt, and it was like a polo with no buttons. It was like a regular collar opening, no buttons. And it was like a white polo with Dizzy Dean on the lapel. And it came wrapped up in a box with a card of Dizzy and Daffy Dean. And it's like the most unique cards because they came with a shirt. And I've been looking for these for a reasonable price. And you see them all beat up for very expensive. So I go to this guy's table, and he has all these cool old cards. And I see them there. He has a few of them. And so I have my choice. And I didn't want to just get the Dizzy. It's hard to find somebody who sells just the Daffy, because the Dizzy carries more value, so they want to sell them both together.
Yep.
And I wanted to get them both together because I didn't want to just have one. I wanted to have them both. And he has a choice there. So I'm like, I'm like protecting them, like, so nobody could see them, covering up the table because I'm getting these things. So as I'm getting them and I'm paying them, I look over and I'm like, is that what I think it is? And I spotted this thing at the top of the display way far away. And I spotted it out of the corner of my eye, like it was meant to be. And so I'm like, you got to add this too. And he was selling this for what I think is a very great price. And it's a 1887 gold coin of Matt Kilroy. And so I'm like, you need to ring that up too. I'm buying that too. This card is near impossible to find. I had been looking for any Matt Kilroy card forever and could not find one. And it happened to be there with that. And it was just like the stars aligned. And I finally got my Matt Kilroy card. Go try to find one of these. Matt Kilroy holds a record. He had something like 520 strikeouts in a season.
In 641 innings, probably, right?
Yeah.
Right.
It's an insane number, and I know it's it's the old school baseball, so I get the significance of the number.
Yeah.
But it's still awesome, right?
Yeah.
I just
Super
remember
cool.
John running up to us after he had made these purchases and explain the whole story he just told. I got, and I'm like, wait, what? It's rice? What? A shirt? What are you talking? Like, and he was just, oh, you gotta listen.
I get so excited when I find something I've been looking for so long, and oftentimes it's stuff no one else would want. I'm probably the only one who ever heard of Matt Kilroy. They think he was a character in a Styx song,
right? When you hear Kilroy, that's what you think of. I will say this to reel us back in. I had honorable mention fine pens too, Aaron. So I got the Al Simmons, and then I got the gorgeous Lefty Grove, which I love.
knew without question you guys were going to show those. So.
Yeah, that was a given. So now
I love them.
I guess
I love them.
We'll rattle off a couple honorable mentions. We can start with John. Any sets that didn't make your list that you thought of or brought some cards of?
Oh, Well, one did. 1947 Sport Exchange. This was actually a trade magazine. They issued these cards on a sheet. This one features Pee Wee Reese here and Phil Rizzuto.
Oh, that's cool.
They have Warren Spahn and Stan Musial that sells for an absolute fortune because again, rookie card that nobody considers a rookie card. But these were cutouts, and you can find the individual ones for next to nothing. This Lefty O'Doul here could probably find for, I don't know, 40, 50, 60 bucks probably. And then they also had these oversized ones, and these are even cheaper.
Yes.
Unless it's, one of the big players are considered a rookie card. But this is Spud Chandler. I was talking about him earlier. And one of the few items he has. He has like a 49 Eureka stamp. He has an exhibit card. I have that one. And the 40 play ball. And this. And that's all I know that he has. And that's why before I had the 40 play ball and the exhibit, I wanted the 47 propagandist. I have that one too. So I have all the Spud Chandlers I know about except for the Eureka stamp.
Now you have a couple sport exchanges, don't you, Aaron? Or is I know Matt the card store is big on those too, isn't he?
Yeah, yeah. I've got the Bear and the Musial individuals. I don't have the uncut sheets or anything, but
right.
Yeah, I've got a few of them. I still want to get the Lefty Grove, the oversized ones. I've got a few of those too. But yeah,
and they do have a Shoeless Joe Jackson, right?
Yeah, that's a big one. I think that might be the biggest one. Yeah, I have the Gehrig, and it's funny. I was looking at not long after I bought mine, one went in auction that was a one grade down, and it went for way more than I paid. So I was like, all right, I guess I did pretty good then.
Yeah, these don't excite me that much because they were a trade publication. I view of them as like the tops insert cards of their day. But they're still cool. I just won't pay thousands for them.
Yeah.
And if I'm gonna get early Stan Musial, like I might for the propagandist, more so than this. And the Shoeless Joe Jackson is not the greatest image of him for what they ask for.
Yeah. See, with Musial, I figured you just got to do both. So that's kind of my.
Well, yeah.
Oh, I know. Yeah, I know you do. You get more cards every week than I get in a year.
Oh, come on. Yeah, right.
I agree, John. I agree. He'll be like, this is my weekly pickup. And they're like 12 bangers, like 12 people's dream cards. And that's just the last few days. I can't keep up with Aaron. I'm glad collecting's not a competition because I'd get my ass kicked.
Not at all.
Well, we'll go one more. I'll let you do, Aaron. You want to do one honorable mention? I'll do one, and then we'll kind of call it because I knew we were going to be just chatting and going off the rails, the three of us. I knew it was going to happen, so I don't care. Let it run.
Yeah, no, I totally. Who cares? Yeah, we knew we were either going to have, out of the 12 sets, we're going to have 10 different sets because it's all just a matter of interpretation. So this is a fun way to take it sideways and have some fun with it. The other thing I pulled really was just all these exhibits, and I have them all pulled because I was just hanging out with Stukes and talking about some of these exhibit sets, but I didn't go nearly as specific. I mean, just the fact you can get any of these with all these little variations. What's that, a 27, and then you got a 25 that looks ridiculously the same with like a slight difference in the box. Just any exhibit. If you want to get four
the
players
exhibits
on
from
one.
the 20s are very doable in most cases. I just picked up a unique one I never saw before, a Pie Trainer, and wasn't dirt cheap, but it was cheap. I mean, a few $100. Where are you going to get a Pie Trainer for a few $100? And I've never seen it before. I didn't look up the pops, but there can't be a lot of them because I've never seen it my whole life, and I'm a Pie Trainer collector.
Some of them are really shockingly tough, and this is 22 Eastern exhibits, but that's a good one for Jason. A nice Eddie Collins in the White Sox. I mean, that's and way more affordable than what you'd think it would be, just because it's oversized and gets the penalty, I think. So
yeah, I'm always surprised how scarce those are.
Yeah,
but they're all the 20 sets are scarce, aren't they? I don't think there's any that are super high pops.
And some of the, the original topic was going to be your best looking card in your collection or something along that lines. Some of the best images, in my opinion, are out of those exhibit sets. The 21 Walter Johnson, is one of my favorite images of all time. Sisler, the 21 Sisler is phenomenal. There are so many great images. Even the Cobbs, like the Cobbs, and Cobb is Cobb. He's going to be more expensive, but it's a heck of a lot more affordable than the T206s that you're seeing, and you can get some great images.
That's for sure.
John mentioned Heilman earlier. So nice Harry Heilman for not a lot. They're catching up a little bit. I think the rare scarce craze is finally kicking in, and they're getting a little more expensive because of that. But there's still the oversized penalty, so I'll take them.
Yeah, I picked my last set or years of a particular set because I love them. They're affordable. Again, I'm stretching the boundary of what a card is. But this goes back to, again, what John was saying when you start talking rookie cards. So the 38 Gaudi DiMaggio, right? We know what that goes for. Even if it gets run over by a truck, it's going for several, 4 digits plus. You can get a Wheaties panel, and this is obviously my Jimmy Fox, but you can get a decent one of DiMaggio from 37 for like $300.
I didn't think about that set, but I should have brought up that set.
Yeah, a year prior. This is Lefty Grove, Plain Days Lefty Grove. I think I spent $45 on this.
Yeah.
And again, if you're picky about how things are cut, and I have some real, like the Fox and the Ernie Lombardi are cut beautifully, but the Lefty Grove is short, and my Gehringer is really short. They're supposed to be orange on the top and the bottom of that, but I think I paid $35 for this for Charlie Gehringer. So I mean, it's just if you're not a stickler on that and you just love the collecting aspect of it, These things are awesome. And I'm
Is that is that cardboard?
It's cardboard.
Was it meant to be cut out and collected?
That's right. So
Then how's it not a card?
And I'll tell you this, Aaron, because I'm getting less and less picky. The 35s with the border, initially I'm like, oh, my 35s have to have the border. I'm looking at a bunch of them that are cut down like the Mel Otts, and I'm like, all right, I can score that for like $50. I might just score that and just be happy.
Yep.
So
yeah, they're cool.
Yeah, another great set. We've done, I talked that set to death. I talked the Butterfingers to death, but just a great set.
There's only one set that cut off the back of boxes that really goes for a lot of money. All the players.
Post 60 post.
60 post. Yeah. Harmon Killebrew's going to go for a lot. Al Kaline's going to go for a lot. Even the football, basketball, there's a Bob Cousy, Frank Gifford. I think there's a Johnny U in that set.
There was and
they all go for a lot of money.
John, there was an Eddie Matthews on CIA auctions. I was on vacation with my wife, and at night I was watching the auction, and I think it went for like $235, which I thought was a great price.
I only have 2. I'd love to get more. The other one I have is the Don Drysdale.
Yeah, it's a great one too, though.
Yeah, and I only have one.
Which one do you have, Aaron?
I have K-Line, but it's autographed, so I thought that was kind of a cool one to pick up. So
yeah, that's very cool.
Yeah,
that is awesome.
Is it really autographed or was it auto penned?
Auto penned in 59 or 60 or 61.
No. Last year with the
right. Good point. Yeah, good point. Good point.
Yeah.
Well, shoot, guys. I mean, we went well over an hour, but I don't care. That was a lot of fun. I had an absolute blast. Well, I could do a part 2. I got enough stuff here to do a part 2, but we'll definitely have to get together and just maybe the next one when we get together, we'll talk grading and collecting in general and just go off on tangents because I love it.
Oh, that'd be fun.
Yes,
but this was fun. I appreciate you allowing me to go off, off the beaten path a little bit.
We have to let you. You're John. That's part of the entertainment. So
you get me going. It's hard to get me stopping.
I love it. Well,
this whole idea was just a chance to get folks together and have fun. So whatever it is we accomplished that. That's all that matters.
That's all it is. All right, gentlemen. Well, shoot, I'll close it out. I appreciate everybody who stayed and watched us the whole way through. There will be a splice in the middle. I'll get creative with that. But until the next Mount Rushmore, we'll talk to you then. Thanks for jumping on, everybody. Bye-bye.